All right, good afternoon, guys. Thank you all for being here. I'm here to announce, and I appreciate everybody's patience on this. I know that, and I appreciate the respect for the family and their privacy through this very tragic and difficult ordeal. At 6:50 last night, Bharti Shahani lost her battle from the horrific injuries that she sustained at the Astroworld Festival. Bharti was, and let me just say this, we're here today to talk about Bharti. We're not going to entertain any questions about the facts or events that led up to why we're here today. That's going to be for another time. We're here to talk about the life of Bharti Shahani. You know, I grew up right down the street from NRG in the Astrodome. And my whole life, that whole complex, from races to rodeos to carnivals to thrill shows, it's always been a place of community, of family. Never in a million years would I ever imagine that something like this could transpire at this. This is the pillar of our community, the symbol of community and family and rodeo and all the good things about Houston. My son, 17 years old, he was at the show. I watched him and all of his friends take off to go, excited, and I was blessed that he made it home that night. The Shahanis did not get that same dream. Never in a million years, when she took off with her friends, her sister and her cousin, to the show, that would be the last time that they ever saw her. Bharti was a shining star in the community. She was a sister, a daughter, a high-achieving college student about to graduate from the Texas A&M University with high grades. Bharti she was the ideal child. Again, let's take a moment for thoughts and prayers from our community, from the state, from the whole nation, to just think about not only the Shahanis, but the 9 other people who have lost permanently their loved ones. This was a monumental travesty from start to finish. From the performer down to the ticket sales, everyone gets an F for their. It failed at every level. We're only beginning to to figure out the failures, but there are many, and I imagine there's going to be more to come. The way that this festival was put on was a recipe for disaster that these people cooked up. From the configuration to they ran so many stop signs on the way to finally the fatality wreck. I mean, from the very beginning, they ignored safety. They put profits over safety, and as a result, we have this tragedy. No parent should ever go through what the Shahanis are going through right now, ever. This was a senseless, grossly disregard for human life in these young folks that were out there. Now again, I don't want to get into the investigation and the ongoing litigation of this thing. We're here today to talk about Bharti. And with that, I'm gonna I'm going to introduce to you guys Mohammed Nabolsi. He's my associate, and he's going to talk a little bit more about the family and introduce them. We're gonna hear from the parents, the sister, and the cousin.
Your name, sir?
James Lassiter. Sorry.
James?
James Lassiter.
Can you spell it for us?
Lassiter.
Thank you.
All right. The family is willing to entertain some questions, but again, we're going to keep those questions about Bharti and not about the events. I do want to, and I will lead with this. There's been a lot of questions, and I think it's common knowledge, but there was a video going around that most people have seen of the young lady falling from a gurney as they were trying to get her out of there, evacuate her. That was Bharti Shahani. Okay. And we're not going to really entertain any other questions about that. If people are still wondering, I'll let y'all know that. Okay. Again, I appreciate y'all being here, and with that, I'm going to let Mr. Nabolsi have some words.
Thank you again for coming here today. Over the last few days, I've been able to spend a considerable amount of time with the family. I've gotten to know a lot about them. And truthfully, what they've reminded me the most of is my family. Houston is a community, a diverse community, a community of immigrants, a community of people who are seeking better opportunities for the future generations, a community of people who come together and celebrate life. The Shahanis are immigrants. Their children are first-generation Americans. I'm a first-generation American. My family immigrated here, seeking better opportunities for their children. And Bharti played the role that first-generation oldest siblings play. They are the glue of the family. They are the liaisons. They are the mentors. They are the advisors. They are the interpreters. They are the people who keep the family together. And not only do they keep the family together, but they ensure that the family will thrive. That was who Bharti was to her family. The oldest sister. She helped her family with their business. She made sure that her family could thrive in this community. And because of the gross negligence and utter disregard for human life by all those that were involved, that was taken from this family. I see in Sunny the father, Sunny Shahani, I see my father. A man who is doing his best to put food on his family's table and relying on everyone around him to support his family, including his eldest daughter. I see my father, a brave man. And I've witnessed Sunny's bravery over the last few days. And as you can imagine, when someone goes through a tragedy like this, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot to juggle. There's a lot to handle. On top of comforting your other family members, on top of being there 24 hours for his daughter. I see in Karishma, my mother. Her children are everything to her. They're her babies. And Bharti was her angel. I see in Namrata my sisters. especially my youngest sister, who looked up to me and my older sister. Someone who was not just Namrata's sister, but her best friend. An amazing sister to both her sisters. This is who we're here to talk about, is Bharti. This is what not just the Shahani family lost, this is what our community has lost. A bright star, a future leader, someone that all of us should look up to. And what we need to do, and the message that we're here to communicate is clear. We want justice for Bharti. We want justice for her family. We want to make sure that the people who decided to put profits over the safety of the lives of children and youth are held accountable for their callous disregard for life. And so, what I will do now is I want to turn the mic over to the family, so you can hear directly from Sunny and Karishma about what Bharti meant to them, about this amazing person that has touched their lives and the lives of everyone she's come into contact with. So please.
Say your name and spell it for us, please.
It's Mohammed Nabulsi, Mohammed Nabulsi.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for your patience and waiting for us here. I'm here today. Came here to just get a justice for my daughter, Bharti Shahani, and I'm here to tell you what Bharti was meant for us. She was born on 26 July 1999 in New York at the St. John Hospital, and I came to this country in '92. I came here with my parents to make a bright future for our family. I had 7 sisters, and I was the only son to my parents. From very beginning, from my school life till college, I had to work hard to support the family. And I used to work hard to make sure that everybody gets the food on the table. From New York, we moved down to Charlotte, North Carolina in 2006. I was there for 3.5 years. My parents moved here, my sisters moved here in Houston, and they were telling me that there is a bright future over here in Houston. So I moved here finally in 2009 in July. When I was moving, my kids, I had 2 daughters at that time, Namrata and Bharti, and they were small, so they agreed to move down here. And then I had a 3rd daughter here in 2010, and her name is Bharti Shahani. Bharti used to take care of our whole family, like taking care of her younger sister, being like her mother, because my wife, she started working with me and was supporting me in the business, because in business we had lots of ups and downs. When I moved here in July, I started working with one of my friends in the clothing store to just get the experience of here. I'm in the clothing business since 2001. So when I was trying to start my own business, my mom got sick in 2010, and she was here 5-6 months in the Methodist hospital itself with a pancreatitis. And then my dad got alone. I lost my mom in 2011, I lost my dad in 2013, and I was without the job for 4 years, which I got a good support from my sisters and my brother-in-laws over here. So Bharti was seeing, my kids saw what I was doing for my parents, and they learned the same thing from us, and they were taking care of us. Bharti's future was like, say, Daddy, I want to be in a A&M. I want to do engineering in a chemical engineering. That was her dream. So we sent her to the A&M because first 2 years she did a St. Jack down here, and then she went to A&M for her studies. After first semester, she changed her topic from the chemical engineering to the computer science, and she told her daddy is a bright future, and we will do an online business on to your store because you are struggling hard. You have to be 5 days in the stores, and that's what we had a support from her. Unfortunately, it was a wrong day and wrong time for her. She went to that concert of Astroworld. She called me around 3 o'clock, Daddy, we are leaving home. And I was at the work and my wife was at the shop too. And at 6 o'clock when they were entering to the concert, they called her that we had ate a pizza and all that, Daddy. So inside maybe our phones will not work because the signal might be low and it might be too loud. At 7:45, my wife, she texted her and she asked her, how's everything going? She said, everything is going good. We have finished the one concert. We are waiting for the next one opening, starting at 9 o'clock. So we thought like our kids are enjoying at the concert and they're enjoying the music and all that. But at 10:45, I got a call from my second daughter, Bharti Shahani, that I lost my phone and it's too crowded. And I'm trying to look for Bharti. She got a phone from some security person over there, and she was trying to call her. Her phone was not replied. Then I have to, when she called her, then my nephew was there too with them. So I called my nephew, and he picked up the phone, and then I made a 3-way calls, and so that he can go and pick up Namrata where she was stuck. And then I told them to start looking for Bharti. That was around 10:45. By 11 o'clock, me and my wife left for the NRG stadium because I was really upset that something has gone wrong. Because of that, Bharti is not picking up the phone. Otherwise, she always picks up the phone right away and reply to us. When we reached to the NRG, we went through from each security and all that. Finally, they told us they have sent a lot of patients to the Bentop. So we went to the Bentop first. From Bentop, they told us she's not here. Then they sent us to the Herman Memorial. We went there, even she was not there. And it was getting very scary for us, that we can't find her till now. It was almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Finally, we found her in the Methodist hospital in an emergency, in a critical condition, with a heart failure, and she was on the vent, and it was really tough for us to see her in that condition. I can tell you a little bit brief about her. She was like an angel for us. She was the head of the family. She was a very nice girl, always calm, always listens, and she had a bright future. Only thing I'll request you guys all, to the Houstonians, to please make sure that she gets the justice. And I don't want somebody else's daughter to go like this. I was keep hearing the news and all that, but for last 6 days I not slept also. Me and my wife for 24 hours, 7 days we were like with my daughter in the ICU. And I'll be thankful to the Methodist staff too, which they allowed us to stay in her room. So whatever time was left, we can spend with her. Now I'm worried about my 2 daughters and my wife, what will be the impact on them after we lost our precious angel. I don't have to say anything else, pass it on to my wife if she has some words to give.
I don't have any words, what to say. Only thing I would say, Bharti is love. You know what is love? Bharti is love, pure. Always thinking about everybody, friends, parents, family, my daughters, her dog, Blue. She has a blue pet, husky. Bharti called baby. Blue is my baby, Mama. And I said, no, Bharti. She said, yeah, Mama. Blue is my baby. She is love. You know what is the other name of Bharti? Bharti is love, only giving. Only giving. She don't ask nothing. Whatever I tell Bharti, yes, Mama. Bharti, help me at store. Yes, Mama. She will sit late night studying, more focused. Only A's and B's. No C. Never. No hanging around. No. Very nice. I'm blessed. God gave me, blessing. But what happened now? What happened to my blessing now? I want my baby back, I won't be able to live without her. It's like, it's impossible. You know what I'm saying? I'm empty here. My Bharti, they say Bharti gone. No. She in vent now. In the hospital, she's in vent. God is there. You believe Krishna? God? Jesus? God? 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 God, Father. Miracle happen, Miracles happen. She might come back, right? They didn't take the vent off. No. But you know what my daughter did? Best part, What is the best part? You know what is the best part? She signed, when she's gone, she's going to donate her organs. See? You see? Did you see that? Always giving, no taking. First thing she asked me in the life, Mama, can I go to this concert? Why did I say no to her? You know why? Because this was the first thing she asked me for herself. And first I said, no. That's because we don't go to concerts. No, we don't even know what this concert is all about. I know concert might be music, having fun, girls having fun. But this is not concert, right? No, this was not concert. I don't know what it was, but this was not concert, because my baby didn't come back. This was not a concert at all, But she might come back, right? Miracle happened. Did I tell you? God, Krishna. I believe in Krishna. Krishna, Radha. Bharti is Radha. Radha is love. What is Radha, Radha? Krishna Radha. Radha is love. Bharti is love. My baby is love. Raju, Bharti love,
Yeah.
See my baby. She might come back, She's still in the vent. Yeah. I was sitting and they told me, you have to, let's go here. I said, okay, I talk about Bharti because, Bharti, everyone should know what is Bharti. I want the world to know what is Bharti. Bharti is my baby. And nice baby, pretty. I pray God, Bharti, everybody have a baby like Bharti. Because she is the best. But Namrata is good too. She's nice too. My little one, Riya, she's sweet too. But Bharti, that is the best. Bharti, Mama.
Okay.
Ask anybody in the family. You come ask my neighbor. She helped me at the store. Ask somebody. How is Bharti? They're going to tell you what is Bharti. Bharti, my baby, love. Bharti is love. I don't know what to do now without Bharti. How will I live without her? I want my baby back, please. Give me my baby back, please. Oh my God, my baby. My baby go busy.
Sorry about that.
I want baby. Please, my baby.
As you can see, the emotions are very raw. And so we're gonna hear from her cousin, Mohit Balani. He's gonna say a few words. Mohit was also in attendance at Astroworld. And so, Mohit.
Spell your name for us and the families.
My name?
Yes, yours and then also Sunny and.
Yeah, Bharti Shahani.
I'll spell the names for you.
S-U-N-N-Y-S-A-K-A-N-I.
Yeah, the last name for the family is Shahani. Mohit is Mohit. Balani is Bellani. The mother, Karishma, is Karishma. Shahani. And so we're going to hear from Mohit a few words. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming. So I'm Bharti's cousin, but she was basically like a sister to me. She lived about like 2 minutes away from us, and we grew up together. So I have no siblings, and she was my sibling. I actually had a few words prepared that I wanted to say about the actual night of the concert. So I just want to speak about what happened on the night of November 5th, 2021. I spent so long like thinking about like what I wanted to say, and like what I want to say is that there are no words to describe what really happened, but that doesn't seem right. That seems cliche and it seems wrong. There are words. Words like nightmare, horror, barbarity, and catastrophe. That's what happened that night. The word I see most people using is actually tragedy. But I think the connotation behind the word tragedy kind of implies that this is something that was very much like unavoidable. So I think that word is wrong. I think the word that should be used is atrocity. This was 100% avoidable. This was an act of pure brutality. If the producers, the venue, the organizers, and Live Nation had done their job, if they had hired properly vetted security and trained medics, if they hadn't grossly oversold the event and then let hundreds, maybe thousands of people sneak in, if they hadn't packed us in on all three sides with barricades, they suffocated us. They did this to Bharti. They suffocated Bharti. They did this to the 9-year-old boy right now in the ICU who's fighting for his life. They did this to the other 8 people who also lost their lives that night. There are so many families grieving in hospitals right now, so many people in the ICU, so many injuries, so many people mentally traumatized. And this was, just pray for them, please. Pray for them. Pray for us. Pray for everyone who lost their lives that night. Pray for all the families affected. Just pray for everyone who experienced that hellish experience and somehow survived, because I guarantee they're traumatized by it somehow. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? That's the saying. And so how much are videos worth? Like 100,000? A million? There are dozens of videos online where you can clearly see exactly what happened at that festival. I can't even call it a festival. At that atrocity. Now I'll talk a little bit about Bharti as well, of course. I think, like Mr. Lassiter said, Bharti was the glue of the family. I would say she was more like the super glue of the family. She held them together like entirely. I have no idea how she did it. Like, she was in school, she was like helping her father, like handling her sisters. She took on so much responsibility at such a young age, and she was such a great kid. Like, she never complained about it, never said anything. She was a very, very special child, and now she's gone. That special child is gone because of what happened on November 5th. And I don't want anyone to ever forget what happened that night and what happened to Bharti. And I'm going to make sure this never happens to anyone ever again. Bharti, so I was actually in their house the other day, and I saw their dog, Blue, and I could see him like going around like looking for Bharti, and that just like completely broke me down, because like he lost his mom, right? Like, Bharti was his mom. He's still like looking for her all around the house. It's I can't walk into her room. I can't. I've been trying so hard just to not think about her. I was actually the first person in the ER that night who saw her. I got there, and like I was assuming that she'd just be like dehydrated or something, right? Like from the concert. And the very first thing he told me was, like, she's not conscious, right? She had 2 heart attacks on the way here, and she's intubated. And I just like immediately shut down, like completely. That should never happen to anyone, especially not at a concert. It's a celebration, right? It shouldn't be. People shouldn't be dying. I walked into the room and I saw her with the tubes down her throat, and I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I just wish we could bring her back somehow. Or I wish I could have helped her that night. I was there also. I wish I could have done something. I wish someone would have done something. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Can you tell us how old you are?
I'm 25.
And the mother?
20.
So now we're gonna have Namrata Shahani, her younger sister. Namrata's name is spelled Namrata. Just one more time, Namrata. Shahani.
Words cannot describe how I'm feeling right now. Like, I cannot put into words what Bharti meant to me, because it feels like she meant everything to me. We were always together. always doing things together. I've never not known like what it feels like to be without her, if that makes sense. Like, she was always someone I could look up to, someone I can hold on to. When things got hard for me, I always told her, and she always helped me out. She felt like a second mother to me. She just always helped me. I don't know how she did it, but she was always there for me. Every time I needed something, she was always there. She was always someone I could share my feelings with. And I don't know. I just don't know what the future will look like from now on. I'm still hoping, right? Praying for a miracle to happen. Something to happen where my sister comes back to me. It hurts more because she was not only my sister, she was also my best friend. And she was also Blue's best friend. He loved her the most, right? Like, she meant everything to him. When she used to go away to College Station for like periods of time, it just felt like, like he wouldn't eat, he wouldn't like do anything. He would just keep sulking, keep looking for her, keep sniffing me to see if I had like been near her. And I just don't know what I'm gonna do right now. I still am not being able to process what happened on the night of November 5th. It just feels like that day never ended. It feels like we're still living in this nightmare that's not ending. And every day I wake up, I constantly wish that like maybe it was all just a dream. Maybe it was just a big nightmare and it'll finally be over and I can finally see my sister again, finally hold her again, finally hug her again, like tell her how much I love her. We were holding hands that night. I was there with her. I was holding her hand. And once that happened, the next time I saw her, she was in the ER, unconscious on a ventilator. I just want to ask everyone, right? Not just Houston. I feel like as a world, this is our responsibility to make sure that we get justice for this. Like, things like this shouldn't be happening, especially now, especially after all this we have faced, right? Like, stuff like this shouldn't be happening. It's not normal. This is her first music festival. This is about like our first music festival. She was looking forward to it. She had her outfits planned. She bought everything. She tried everything on. She showed me. Never once had we thought that we both wouldn't make it back home or back to the hotel that night. That thought had never crossed our head. So please keep praying for Bharti. Thank you.
So now we will take a few questions. The family has agreed to take some questions, but we are going to limit the questions to Bharti. Again, we're going to stay away from. They've shared what they want to share about the festival. Okay.
Mr. Master, if you could clarify, because you opened it by saying that it was at 6:50 p.m. last night, and she removed
Yes.
from the ventilator.
Yes.
No.
Or she was declared.
She was declared. She's still on
Declared.
the bench because she has, donated her organ.
Right.
So they are keeping her there for 48 hours to 78 hours, 72 hours more.
So she was declared dead.
Declared.
Yeah.
And then removed from the ventilator and her organs were donated.
She's not yet. They're
They
in
are
the
processing.
process.
They have a process for 48 hours. They have
Oh, so they haven't removed her from the
No, no,
ventilator yet? Okay. Within 48 hours of
72
last
hours,
night.
yeah.
Correct. That's right. That's right. That's all right. Good question. All right.
Any other questions?
Can you tell us what Bharti's goals were and what her major was, what she wanted to do with her life?
She had computer science as her major, and her goal was to, get a good job and support the family in the business. Because I have a clothing business, which she was trying to build up the website and do it online. Because I'm like 59 years old and I'm a diabetic. My wife is 52 and she has asthma too. So we were struggling with our health, and she was the backbone of the family, saying that, Daddy, don't worry, I'll help you out in the business once I'm done with my graduation and all.
You said coding business.
Pardon?
It's a coding.
Yeah, I have a clothing
Clothing.
business. Clothing.
Clothing.
Yeah.
Clothing.
Can you talk about the things that she enjoyed doing, like what brought her joy and pleasure and comfort?
Yeah.
So she loved playing badminton. She recently got into that actually. She likes taking Blue on a walk, right? She's the only one who can do it. That's the thing. He's very aggressive, so she's the only one who can take him and take care of him and control him. She likes hanging out with her friends. She is a very, very good painter and drawer. Like she draws the best stuff, like things you couldn't even think of. She loves coffee. She's always at Dunkin' buying her coffee with her coupons or whatever. She just was very full of life, like she was just very full of life. She enjoyed the smallest things. She never let anything stress her out or break her. She was just always put together.
What kind of dog did she have?
She has a husky. He's 2 years old.
Any discussion from her about her plans right after college, where she wanted to be, what she
Right.
wanted to do?
So the thing is, on the day of when we were driving to the festival, my cousin and her were discussing, and he said that he was gonna help her get a job and help her out with that, like while she was still in college. She was thinking of getting an internship.
What type of job?
Oh, like something within for her.
She was doing software engineering for Capital One. It said software
You're
engineering for Capital One.
She was looking into that job offer.
And I think someone asked like what she liked doing, right? I think one other thing Bharti loved doing was she loved helping others, and I'm glad that through this process, the donation process, she's getting one last chance to help the people around her, to help others.
You mentioned it was her first festival.
It was her first music festival.
What was she looking forward to?
Honestly speaking, we were both just looking forward because we had no idea it was her first festival. She wanted to have a good time, right? She wanted to celebrate the music of the performer. She wanted to take pictures, post them on Instagram, what every girl does. She just wanted to, for the first time in her life, she just wanted to have fun. And that was taken from her.
Did Bharti have a particular artist she wanted to see that night? Out of all the others? Was it the obvious one?
Yeah, that's the obvious.
The headliner, yes.
And the GoFundMe, did they want us to continue to share that for funeral expenses or anything like that?
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people.
Not heard of you.
her
And,
family.
and just, they'll be setting up a foundation. We'll be setting up a foundation for her. The family feels strongly about that. That her memory will go on.
You and your family have shared so much about how much Bharti meant to you all. With her story now being one that's received around the world, what do you hope, how do you hope what she taught you, what she's done for you, is received internationally?
No one should ever go through what we are going through right now. That's the reason we're having this press conference today. We just want the world to know that we understand that there are other parents out there who have also experienced the same loss that we have experienced, and no one should ever feel the way we're feeling, or feel the way those parents are feeling, because you're sending your kids out for one night of fun, and the fact that you don't see them again is very, very heartbreaking.
You mentioned that you were holding her hand that night. Do you remember maybe at one point talking to her, and what was the last thing she said to you?
If you feel comfortable.
She was always looking out for me. The last thing she said to me was, "Are you okay?"
I think that's going to be it for today. So we just ask that the media respect the privacy and this very sensitive and delicate time for this family. We're here as a resource for the family, and if there's anything that's needed from the media, you can go through us.
Would you say is Ramona a student as well?
Yes,
And where?
she's a student at the University of Houston.
Are there photos of Bharti that we will be allowed to use?
We will get with the family about that, and we'll be able to.
Also, could we have a picture of Blue?
Picture of Blue? Yes, we'll get that. Okay.
Maybe a question was asked, but I didn't hear the answer. Has Travis Scott or his representatives reached out to the family?
No one has reached out to us.
No one.
No one has reached out to us.
And so
Except
with
y'all.
that-
Except
and so
y'all.
with that, today's statement from Travis Scott's representatives reaching out to victims to contact them, have you had any contact with
No
them
one
on
has
that?
reached out to us on behalf of any of the parties involved in the disaster that was November 5th. And that's all for today.
Thank y'all. And if y'all would just give us a second to get the family ushered out, and then I appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you, guys.
So sorry, Lisa. Say hi.
The other gentleman who was with the family, what was that didn't speak? Is he a relative? Is Bharti Shahani?